All right, polynomial division quiz review. So we have divide and simplify. This is our first question. We have 4x to the 4 over 2x, 8x squared over 2x, 2x over 2x, and negative 4 over 2x. So we're going to do each one by itself. So 4 over 2 is equal to 2. And then x4 divided by x, you have 4 on top, 1 on bottom, so you're left with 3. For this part, we have 8 over 2, which is positive 4. 2 minus 1 is 1. And then 2x over 2x is 1. And then negative 4 over 2x is going to be 2 over x. Because 4 over 2 is 2 up top, and then we have 1x on the bottom. And that's your answer. Okay, next question. You can do this one of two ways. You can either factor the top, or you can do long division. I'm going to factor the top for this problem. So we're going to get, if you do the cross method, you're going to get x plus 5, x minus 4, and then rewrite the bottom. The x plus 5s cancel out. We're left with x minus 4. Okay. Over here, so we can't factor this number, or this problem up top easily, so we're going to have to do long division. So we have x plus 3, x squared plus 8x plus 17. So on the test, just so you know, the second question I will make it to where you can factor like this. The rest of the questions where you have to divide, you'll have to do long division. So there'll only be one where you're able to factor, and it'll be the second question, just so you know. Everything else will be actual long division. Okay, so what times x equals x squared? That's just x. So then we go x times x is x squared. X times 3 is 3x. We're subtracting, so flip the signs. This is 0. Remember, if this is not 0 over here, you're doing something wrong. And 8 minus 3x is positive 5x. Bring our 17 down. What times x is 5x? That is 5. 5 times x is 5x. 5 times 3 is 15. We're subtracting 0. Once again, if you don't get a 0, something's wrong. 17 minus 15 is 2. So we have x plus 5 with a remainder of 2 over x plus 3. That's our answer right there. Okay, same as the question 3, just a little bit longer. We have another term in there. Okay, so x minus 5 on the outside, 3x cubed minus 15x squared plus 8x minus 15. All right, so what times x is 3x cubed? That is 3x squared. Then we get negative 15x squared here. We're subtracting, so flip the signs. We get 0, and 0 here as well. This is probably the first time you've seen this. This is okay. We're going to bring our 8x down. So this is 0x squared plus 8x. So what times x equals 0x squared? Well, what times, it's 0, right? 0x times that gives us 0x squared. And then 0x times negative 5 gives us minus 5x. This becomes, we're subtracting, so that doesn't matter at all. It's still 0. And then 8x plus 5x is 13. This is 0. I made a mistake here. That's 0. 0 times 5 is 0. Okay, so we're doing 8 plus 0 is 8x. And then negative 15 comes down. Now, what times x is 8x? That is 8. 8 times x is 8x. 8 times negative 5 is negative 40. Jeez. Subtracting, so we flip the signs of both. We get 0 here. Negative 15 plus 40 results in 25. So we get 3x squared, 0x, and 8. So I'm going to rewrite it without that 0x. So it's 3x squared plus 8 plus 25 over x minus 5. Okay. Question 5. So we have to find the zeros, which means we have to factor all the way down. We're given that this is one of the factors. So we have to do long division again. So x plus 3, 2x cubed plus 3x squared. Okay. So what times x equals 2x cubed? 2x squared. 2x squared times x is 2x cubed. 6x squared, we're subtracting, so 0 here. Negative 3x squared. Bring our 29x down. What times x is negative 3x squared? It's negative 3x. Negative 3x times x is negative 3x squared. And we get negative 9x. Subtracting, so flip the signs. 0. This becomes 20. Negative 20x. Bring our 60 down. Negative 60. What times x is negative 20x? That is negative 20. Negative 20 times x is negative 20x. And negative 20 times 3 is negative 60. We're subtracting, so flip the signs. 0 and 0. No remainder. Okay, so if we're going to continue factoring, we have to have no remainders. That's a part of the problem, or part of the solution. Okay, so now we have a new trinomial. We need to factor this. So a times c is negative 40. We're trying to get to negative 3. So what multiplied together gets negative 40, and adds gets negative 3. Negative 8 and 5. So reverse box method. Our 2x squared goes here. Negative 8x, 5x, and then our negative 20 goes in the back. What can we factor out going up? I see I can only pull out an x here. X times 2 is 2x is 2x squared. X times 5, and then 5 times negative 4 is negative 20, and 2x times negative 4 is negative 8x. So now we have our factors. So it's x plus 3 times 2x plus 5 times x minus 4. Okay? Now our zeros are going to be negative 3. This is going to be negative 5 over 2. And that's going to be positive 4. So x equals all those. All right, remember, you're setting these to equal 0. So 2x plus 5 is equal to 0. I'll do it right here. We subtract 5, so we get 2x equals negative 5. And we divide by 2, we get x equal to negative 5 over 2. That's how we got that 1 in the middle. Okay, question 6. So it's telling us if we divide by x plus 1, we'll have a remainder of 2. So what this means is if we plug in negative 1 for our x, this should equal 2. So we got to figure out what k is. So we're going to rewrite this question. Oops, sorry. So 2 goes there, equals 2 times our negative 1 to the 4 minus negative 1 to the 3 plus 2, negative 1 squared minus our unknown. Okay, so let's just go through and evaluate all of our exponents. So negative 1 to the 4 is just going to be 1. 1 times 2 is 2. I'm going to write this left side, 2 equals. The negative 1 times negative 1 times negative 1 is negative 1. Something subtracting negative 1 is going to be a positive 1. Okay. Negative 1 squared is 1 times 2 is 2 again, and then minus. Okay. So 2 plus 1 plus 2 is 5. We are going to subtract 5 from both sides. We get negative 3 is equal to negative k. So then we can divide or multiply both sides by negative 1, and we get k is equal to 3. All right. This one, we're going to find the zeros. So we have a 0 right here at negative 2, which means one of our binomials could be x plus 2. We have a 0 at the origin, which means that we just have an x out front. And that could be, actually, this should be x squared because it comes up and touches and comes back down. Right? If it goes through, it's just a regular x. If it goes up and touches, it comes back down, it's an x squared. And then this one, 2.5, is just like the problem we worked on up here. Okay? This is 2.5, but this is positive 2.5, right? So we're just going to have the exact same thing, but 2x minus 5. All right, and if you don't know how to do this without like having something else on the paper, it's going to still be x minus 2.5. But when you have a decimal, we want to get rid of it. So the way we get rid of this decimal is we multiply by 2, and then we're going to get 2x minus 5 is how we would do that. And this is our polynomial right here. Okay, so you just got to find the zeros, and put them in the right form, or the right in the binomial. Okay, last question. Okay, so we have to divide this again. We have to find our zeros, and then we just have to sketch a graph of it. So I'm not going to do the division on this assignment right here because it's taking too long. I've already done enough division. So when you divide x plus 4 into this, the number we get out is x squared minus x minus 6. So we have to factor this. When we factor that, we get x minus 3 times x plus 2. And our original factor, which they give us, also is x plus 4. I'll write this below so I don't interfere with my graph. I should write it right here, but if I do that, then it's going to get in my way my graph. Okay, so I have 3 zeros. Positive 3, negative 2, and negative 4. So let's graph all those. So negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4. I should say plot them. Negative 2 is here, and then positive 3, 1, 2, 3. All right, and these are all regular. They're single exponents on the outside. So we're not going to have any touching. It's going to go through. And then the last thing we need to look at is the sign of our leading term. It's positive, which means that we're going to start down here and end up here because it's an x to the 3. Okay, that's one of the assignments that we worked on in Con. So going up, back through, and back up. Okay. Now, if any of these things were squared, like let's say if this one were squared, the x minus 3, well then our positive 3, 0, you have to come up and touch it and come back down. Okay. We don't have that this time. They're all 1s, so it's just going straight through like this. This was a squared. So I wrote squared. Okay. And we're done.